Welcome to Progressive Mindset Podcast. My name is Natalie Potts, personal development and business coach, and each week I'll be bringing you an inspiring message or person to help you unlock creating a living life full of energy and happiness. And today I'm going to be going with a quote, as I always do, because I love a good quote, by Will and Ariel Durant, who said that to ensure what is, we must remember what was and dream of things as they will one day be. And this has kind of been sparked in my thoughts this week after I was listening to a podcast. And I listen to a lot of podcasts because I'm on the go. I like to hear things. They sit with me and they're kind of like little golden nuggets for me. And it's all around this idea of attitude. And it was talking around attitude and high performance in this podcast. And then I was also listening to a podcast by Gary Vee, and he was talking all around the fact that if anything was a word of this year for 2020, it would be kindness for him. For me, my word of 2020 would be gratitude, and having an attitude of gratitude. There we go. In terms of the daily outlook I have, and again, bring it into my daily routine. So it's not just something that I think, what am I grateful for today? Like, I wake up thinking, I'm really grateful that I've woken up feeling healthy. I've got a lot of energy, that I've got a great outlook on today, that I've got things set, I'm excited, I'm enthusiastic. Those are the types of things that I recognize and make sure I feel grateful for, not just, oh, I'm really grateful that I've got my car to drive me to work. Those are the types of things I was thinking a couple of years ago with gratitude, when I was kind of writing 3 things down in my diary every day. And I thought, no, this has got to shift. I've got to do something more than just writing things down. Because actually what I was recognizing was that I was just writing the same things day in, day out. And that didn't hold much purpose for me. So this real idea around attitude. So our lives are greatly affected by what we know, since we determine decisions about what we've done before. And our attitude is primarily focused on emotional issues. And this affects, obviously, how we're going to be going forward in our existence. So what we know determines our philosophy, and this is what we choose to think. And these ideas, it's a formation of what we do, and this then influences our attitude in terms of how we behaviourally act and our habits. And this is really important because when something's habitual, it's routine, it's ingrained, it's something that's subconscious. We don't think about it. Great example is brushing your teeth. Driving your car. Sometimes I'll drive to places and I'll think, oh my God, I didn't even really think about how I got here. I just drove here. That's our subconscious kicking in. So it's really great that we have to be aware of that. And having the right attitude is essential to success and happiness, because we are constantly mindful of our feelings and the possibilities that we can achieve our dreams. And that is a major determining factor in how our lives will turn out. It's a major determining factor in whether we will achieve our goals or not. So it's great having goals, but again, it's like when you say that a goal isn't a goal without a deadline. If you do not have the ideas and the possibility in achieving your dreams with the right attitude, you're not going to be actually achieving your dreams. So having a healthy attitude is absolutely key when we're looking back to the past as well. And I'm really clear with people that I don't do past thinking. So coaching is very much in the moment from now and forward facing. It's about moving you from A to B. And it is closing that gap quicker than if you're doing it on your own. So when people want to reflect back to the past or bring up examples of things that have happened to them previously, it's that moment to hold them account to that and say, let's just recognize what's going on right here, right now, and detach them from that almost, because we want to reflect back as an example in what were your strengths from that situation that you can employ to drive you forward now. We don't want to look back and say, well, what does that tell you about yourself? What does it remind you? We don't want to get into that side of things. And I'm really clear with people that then potentially coaching isn't right for them. I don't obviously tell them it's therapy or counselling you need, because again, that's my assumption. That's not for me to know for that person. That's for them to go and establish and uncover for themselves. So we need to make sure that the associations and the mindset and the attitude that we have to our past is one that is positive, because actually we can't change it. Okay, it's something that happened, and we need to learn the best way to act with that and use it in a healthy way to drive us forward. We must know and choose to look at our mistakes, our failures, our faults, and our losses as something that can educate us and that can bring value. And they can bring value because we can look at them and say, what was it that I liked about that? What was it that went well? What was it that didn't go so well? What didn't I like about that? Then you can focus on, out of those ideas, what do I actually need to change? And then that's when we can look at how we move forward. So a great question to ask yourselves is, where do you want to be in 12 months? This current moment you are in is opportunity. It is an opportunity to have a perspective that is of positivity, that is that you've got a future, that why can't you change something that you didn't like yesterday and make the change today and be positive about it? And I love this when people say about the fact that there are like 1,444 minutes in a day, because it just gets me buzzing when I hear little stats like that, probably because I'm quite analytical and I like to know things and get results through figures. But that's 86,400 ticks off the clock if we're going to get that specific. And again, I don't know why these things kind of fire me up. But both poor and wealthy people have the same minutes in the day, right? So if I was to ask a question, the question it would be to you now is, let's rephrase that. If time was going to ask you the question, I think time would say to you right now, here I am, what are you going to do with me? And I guess when we sometimes detach ourselves from something with a question, this is where questioning becomes so powerful, because you look at it in a different way. You're almost saying that's not me. What would you do with that? And look at it like that. Again, it's this change of perspective. So take yourself out of a situation from you for a moment. Think of possibilities, dream big. This is always what I do with clients in the O part on the options. I just say, look, let go of reality, let go of the past. Let's just, in terms of the goal and where we've come from with that session, not the past, as I've just said, therapy and counselling, but let's just let go of what we've just spoken about and just think big. So use that goal and think about, if you had all the time in the world, if you had a magic wand, what would your partner say? What would your teacher say? What would your boss say? What would your friends say? And just think out loud. What if, time, you didn't have 1,444 minutes and you had so much time in the day? What would you do with that? So thinking big and taking ourselves sometimes out of the position of where we are can really help us. And it is that ability to dream and imagine. And then what you can do from that is create. So it merely offers you a gift. That's what time is. It's a gift, and it's how you choose to use that time. So there can be something really magical that happens when we give ourselves the space, as I said, like in that options part, to dream big and think about the future goals. And this is when we have a specific goal in mind aligned to a purpose. We then get a really clear vision. And then when we really have that clear vision and that purpose set, not a lot takes us away from that, because we're so drawn to where we want to be with that. We are very focused. And what that is supported by is excitement and enthusiasm and energy. And I love the word energy. And I'll often ask people if they can kind of give like 2 or 3 words, or, in a testimonial from myself, what is it you'd say? And this word energy just keeps coming up. And sometimes I'm like, really, I've got no idea. I used to joke years ago as a kid when people used to ask me, like, they say, have you done drugs? Like, I've never done drugs in my life. And I just don't need to. And I've just said, and that's what I said to people, like, I do not need to. I've got so much energy. I think I've been called that little Duracell bunny, but we'll leave that moment there. But having excitement, enthusiasm, and that passion and that desire to go and achieve your goals is what will really align you to achieving what you want in your future. So the more excited we are, the easier it is to develop discipline and refine the process. When I talk the process, I mean kind of the routine, the attitude, the perspective of how we choose to then avert discipline, consistency, the art of the possible to every single day, and make the future better than the past. You must ask yourself, how much of the future do I actually see and believe deep within? And I love this, that it came into my life. I always think that if you choose to see things in a certain way, and again, this goes back to this word perspective, which is going to be my word of 2021. So gratitude was 2020, 2021 is going to be perspective. It is how you choose to see things. I always say to people, and this is through my coaching experience, notice what you notice. And that is about bringing things into your self-awareness heightened. That's that emotional intelligence part kicking in. And you having an understanding. When you have high self-awareness, you have better understanding of yourself and you have better understanding of others. And that then links into the other side of emotional intelligence, one of the other areas of the 5, which is empathy and putting yourself in somebody else's shoes. And this is really, really important to help you get perspective as well. So we cannot exceed on our own. We have to have around us other people that inspire us, that challenge us, that support us, because this will aid in our development and move us forward. But those people that inspire us need to have a similar attitude, if not better than that, better than ours, and that we want to be them. There is something in their energy, their enthusiasm, their excitement to achieve their goals that we want that bit of. Those are the types of people that you want to be working with if you're building a business or if you're looking for a coach. The people who you surround yourself with influence you, and they will influence your thought process. And you can take this from many examples. You could take this from, you start surrounding yourself with people who go to gym, you're probably going to want to start going to gym. You surround yourself with people that have lots of takeaways, you're going to do the same. It's just facts. So you have to change something within that. But first, you have to be self-aware of what's going on in that situation. Again, that's perspective. So just to draw on helping around linking it back to having an inspiring attitude to things and perspective is to ask yourself these 3 questions if you are in search of a better life. And actually, everybody should be in search of a better life. So everybody should be answering these questions. They are, who around you? So who is around you? Who is offering you value? Who is inspiring you? Who is giving energy to you? What effect are they having? So we all know those people that inspire us, they're infectious. Draw upon those examples. And the great thing to do with these 3 questions is to write them down. So write them down on a page, see them on a page, see what thoughts it has and how it's different. There is so much difference in writing something down to comparing to thinking about it. But you have to do this. You have to commit to wanting this change. So what is it that is happening around you with that? What is the effect? What have they got you reading? What have they got you thinking? What have they got you doing? What have they got you becoming? And this is one of the areas that I'll look at as one of my pillars of my foundations, my business, is becoming, and knowing in your goals, your vision, your values, who it is as a person you want to become. Because that is absolutely key in moving your business forward and yourself forward. And then asking, is that acceptable? So that sounds quite direct and it sounds a little bit negative. And again, that's my association with the word there in the language. So that might not be the same for yourself. However, what it's saying is it acceptable? I kind of think, okay, I'm going to say, well, no, yes, no. Just think about what it means and are you happy with that at the moment? Is that right for you? Is it enough for you? Is it that person is inspiring, but you want them to be a little bit more inspiring? So do you keep that person in your world, but you want to go and find somebody else that can draw some real inspiration and, someone you can connect with? So be open with these questions. Again, like just explore things. Be, have the courage to just think out loud with this and maybe ask somebody as well, like do it as a pair with someone and someone you're doing it in business or a friend, and see what you both come up with, see if there's anything else, because that's when you kind of get this fire of energy as well between 2 people and thinking. And again, it changes perspective when you talk things through. I have a accountability buddy with my business, and because we're both on the same mastermind program together 18 months ago, and we've just very much connected still, stayed friends, like literally like friends, like we'll pick up the phone every other day and we'll just do lots of voice notes. I love that type of connection, and it empowers me, it inspires me, and it challenges me, because there'll be days where I'm better than him and there's days where he's better than me. And that's great, because when you're personally focusing on your personal development, when you have tough days and you don't feel like doing it, and you don't feel like reading, or you don't feel like meditating, you don't feel like doing the things that you know serve you well, sometimes that check-in with somebody who is that accountability partner or who has got your back and knows exactly this, go through the same things, is there for you, and that can pump you and inspire you and change that day. So it's really important that you do have these people around you and surround yourself with like-minded people. So personal growth is not always easy, and we shouldn't let the others' opinions impact what we think is best for ourselves, because our true worthiness and greatness and us achieving our dreams will come from us believing that we can do that and having that deep down belief set. If there is like 90% of you that believes in something, I honestly sometimes personally don't think you're going to achieve that. I honestly think that people who believe greatly in that they will definitely 100% achieve their goal will achieve it, because everything will become aligned to doing that, and anything that compromises that or isn't aligned to it, they'll challenge or they'll change to make it work. They will have that mindset to look at, right, that's not working for me now. What do I need to do? How do I get there? How can that serve me? What is that obstacle that I need to get over? And it goes back to, again, I've just finished a bit on holiday for the second time. The obstacle is the way. The fact that you need to fight that fire and put it out to move forward. So sometimes having people around you that aren't serving you will be destructive, and you need to be aware of that. And this will, when we get all of this right, will help us to know that we have tremendous potential. We can be high performers. Most of us are willing to really, really work hard to pay the price that is happiness and success. And often people say you shouldn't sacrifice things, you don't need to. I'll be honest, I think that's bollocks. Like, you have to sacrifice things in life. I'm not sitting here single, without kids, with my own mortgage, with my own car, which I love, with a job that pays my mortgage every single month. So I'm not in this place without sacrificing things that others have, and things that I think actually would quite like that. But that's my choice. I choose to do that. I choose to have this life because what I do inspires me and empowers me and wakes me up every single morning feeling grateful, and that I'm living the life that I want to live for me, not what others want for me. And I really struggled with that last year, getting over that kind of that perspective that people would say that, you need to go and do this, you need to go and do that. Well, thank you. I really appreciate that feedback. I am doing what makes me happy. So personally focusing on the right things and knowing that you have the ability is what you need to do. No one makes us angry. We choose to take that upon ourselves and see it that way of what they've said, or react in it a certain way. So we need to be aware that we choose those things. So again, I'm going to say that we choose. So sometimes when things happen that you think shouldn't be happening, or why is that me, or it always happens to me, just think about how you chose to react to that. Select the attitude that you want to have. We must learn to really trust ourselves as well. The amount of times I say this to clients at the end of a session, I just say, right, stop for a moment. Trust yourself. And we literally will pause. I was mentoring someone as well a couple of weeks ago, and they were saying about how they really struggle with silence. And I love a silence because it's really powerful. And what a silence actually tells me isn't awkwardness. It tells me that person that is working with me is taking the time to really think about what they want and to really explore their thoughts, and is in a moment where nothing is distracting them, and they are able to think about what they really, really want to then go and make the change. They're committed. They're driven. That's what a silence tells me. So that is our attitude, and our attitude is an asset that we have. It's our inner strength. And if you choose to push out that negativity, of which you'll find everywhere, then you will choose to then look at positivity. And again, the same as when you push out negativity because you choose to see it, you can choose to see positivity, right? So you choose if you see that shit good or bad. That's down to you. It's exactly the same way. So cut it out. Choose to see things as positive. Choose to have the perspective that you want to have. Choose to have an attitude of gratitude. Choose to ask yourself more questions. So if I was to summarize this in one question, it would be, how are you choosing to look at your life? Focus on becoming more aware of how you see things, eliminating the fear, having high emotional intelligence, surrounding yourself with a great network. Your network is your net worth. It's so true. Know your worth, because knowing your worth will mean you have high self-esteem. And when you have high self-esteem, you have more confidence. And when you have more confidence, which is a skill, you will go and do big things. And dream big. Dream big and then work it back and start small. Those small steps, those stepping stones to get you to the milestones, to get you to the bigger goals. Trust yourself in this process. So there we are. That's going to be my last podcast of 2020. Wowzers, I can't believe I just said that. I'm a little bit bored of hearing people talk about that all the time, I'm going to be honest. I think I'm going to do it this once. I'm going to do it once in an email to my subscribers, and that is that. No more talking about 2020. And no more really talking about 2021 like it's suddenly the year that's going to change everything, because nobody knows that. Okay, let's be honest. So what I choose to do is just break things down and let's do what I've done that's brilliant and continue doing it to make 2020 the best it can be. The same as I chose to make 2020 the best it could be. Did I say 2020 or 2021 then? I get confused myself. Either way, thank you for listening to my podcast today. If you haven't listened to last week's, it was with Carlo Rourke. So we were talking all about his fitness business and helping mums and getting a balance between family life, fitness, and being able to know that they can get in the best shape of their life. So I highly recommend you check that out, because it's absolutely amazing to spend time with Carl. And connect with me. So let me know what you thought of this. Please leave me a rating on iTunes. I'd love that if you could reach out and say hi. I don't want you to DM me saying you need help, because I'm not, if I can help you, great. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm not that type of coach. I want to genuinely help you and I want you to connect with me. So please reach out and find me on Inner Greatness Community on Facebook, and I'm on Instagram, Miss Natalie Potts Coaching, and everywhere else. So drop me a question, share this episode with a friend, and let me know about how you found it, what worked for you. And again, I'm going to leave you with that question because it's really, really poignant. How are you choosing to look at your life? And as always, have a great day.